2. How we doing, family? It's your boy, Yo, and this is another episode of YoHoops. I go through every NBA game every day. Today's Saturday, February 28th, last day of the month, and we have a 5-game NBA card. I'm going to walk you through my thoughts and let you know what sides I like, so please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and let me know your favorite game in the comment section below. Without further ado, let me get into today's games. Recap of yesterday, we got right back in that win column, 3-2 on the 5-game card. I was up a little late because I was watching that Nuggets and Thunder game, a thriller to say the least. We easily cashed with Jokic, so I wasn't sweating my play, but I wanted to see if the Thunder could complete that comeback. Sure enough, they got it done in OT and almost covered the 8-point spread if it wasn't for the 3 threes by Jamal Murray in the final seconds. I'm now 91-66. Let me repeat that, 91-66 on every game played in February. Let's end it on a high note and keep the momentum rolling into March. In our first matchup today, we have the Portland Trailblazers in Charlotte taking on Charlotte Hornets. Hornets are minus 330 on the money line, and the total is 229.5. With both teams at full strength, I see this as a pretty competitive matchup, but the Blazers come into it with a few significant injuries. Danny Advia and Shadon Sharpe are both still ruled out, but now Donovan Clingan is listed as questionable with an illness. The Hornets are starting to get back into that rhythm, winning their last 3 straight by margin. In Charlotte at full strength, they should win this one by double digits. I'm taking the Hornets laying the 8 as my first selection. In our next matchup, we have the Houston Rockets in Miami taking on Miami Heat. Rockets are minus 145 on the money line, and the total is 225.5. To me, this is an interesting matchup because these are two teams that I tend to fade this season. The Rockets stay losing upsets, but I also feel like the Heat are overvalued in Miami compared to the talent on their roster. Tonight, Norman Powell is ruled out, so we're basically relying on Tyler Hero and Andrew Wiggins to get us an outright win. With the Rockets at full strength, it would be more of a debate, but they actually come into it banged up themselves. Of course, Steven Adams and Jayshawn Tate are both still ruled out, but now Jabari Smith is out with a sprained right ankle. KD's old, and I don't trust Amen Thompson running an offense, so even with Norm out, I see Miami having the edge here. I'm taking the Heat plus the 3 as my next selection of the afternoon. In our next matchup, we have the Toronto Raptors in DC taking on the Washington Wizards. Raptors are minus 800 on the money line, and the total is 227.5. Off rip, this line looks fishy to me. I've been seeing it close in the Wizards' direction all night. It opened with the Raptors laying 14.5, and it's slowly tightening off of minimal injury news. Toronto comes into it at full strength, so injuries aren't the issue, but when I look back at historical data, I see why. The last time these two teams played was on December 26th in DC, and the Wizards blew these boys out 138-117. I don't see them having that dominant of a performance again, but in the same breath, they'll have a very legitimate chance to win this game outright. It's more of a hunch. I'm not saying bet the farm, but I'll definitely have a few dollars down on the money line. I'm taking the Wizards plus the 13.5 as my next selection of the evening. In our next matchup, we have the Los Angeles Lakers in Golden State taking on Golden State Warriors. Lakers are minus 185 on the money line, and the total is 230. The Warriors are still playing through a handful of injuries, but I am impressed by what I've seen since Steph went down. In their last few games, they blew out the Grizzlies and the Nuggets. I don't necessarily see this as a step up in competition. The Dubs have a big advantage in shooting. All they have to do is limit Luka to maybe 32 points, and they'll have a chance to win this game. We know the Lakers have the 2 best players on the floor, but in today's NBA, you need a squad. I'm taking the Warriors plus the 4 as my next selection of the evening. In our next matchup, we have the New Orleans Pelicans in Utah taking on Utah Jazz. Pelicans are minus 245 on the money line, and the total is 246. If I'm being honest, I was going back and forth with this game. The Pelicans clearly have more talent on the floor with all the injuries Utah is playing through, but I also know the Jazz typically play their best basketball at home. For me, it comes down to the fact that the Pelicans typically win games that they're favored in. This season, they're 7-3 against the spread when laying points. With Keontae, Laurie, and Nurkic out, I think the Pels do enough to win it by 8. I'm taking the Pelicans laying the 6.5 as my last and final selection. And that's going to conclude today's video. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. I couldn't have scripted a better month than this. I'll break it down in a couple days, but we're going into this card with a record of 91-66 on every game played. I'm looking to make March just as big. I appreciate the support so much. I do this every day for free, so please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It's your boy, Yo! And until the next one, I'ma catch y'all. Peace.